Skeletor, you troublemaker, I have found out what you're up to again. He-Man, you muscle-bound buffoon, you'll never stop me. Ah! Boom, 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 boom. Teela, Orko, what's going on? I was playing with He-Man and Skeletor. What? No, I mean, I love you both, but, you know, I was playing with those two. You know, where did you come out of? What, you're gonna take on Eternia by yourself now? Okay, and Orko is gonna help you. Well, all right, but you know, I was playing with those two. I picked those two up first. Hello, and welcome to another video here at Movie Mash. And today we're going to talk about the new Masters of the Universe Revelation on Netflix. Just hit Netflix yesterday or last night. Kevin Smith has been trying to bring this back for a while, and we've had two trailers which I did a reaction to, and it looked quite exciting. Kevin Smith co-wrote some of the episodes, but he is the writing editor, and he was a massive fan as a kid, and he's been trying to bring it back, and here we are. Now, as the cast is massive. I didn't realize how big it was until I was looking it up last night. We have a massive, big heavyweight cast here. I'm just going to run through them all because there's quite a few. So we got Chris Wood as He-Man. We got Sarah Michelle Gellar as Teela. We got Lena Hanley as Evelyn. Mark Hamill, the great Mark Hamill, as Skeletor. Who else are you going to get to play a bad guy? We got Liam Cunningham as Man-at-Arms. We got he's also from Game of Thrones. We got Alan Oppenheimer, who plays Mossman. Now, for people who don't know him, he originally played Skeletor, and he's done all kinds of voices. I think he done also did Neverending Story Falcor. And it kind of sounds like Falcor on this. Anyway, getting back, we got Alicia Silverstone as Queen Melina. We got Kevin Conroy as Merman. We got Justin Long as Roberto. We got Jason Mewes as Stinkor, and we got the great Tony Todd as Scareglow. I mean, cast is big. It's a good cast. I mean, you can't go wrong with this, right? Now, I have an issue, but I have a spoiler to say. Now, I'm going to bring up a load of spoilers at the end, and you will get plenty of notice until I bring that up. But to tell you the story or the synopsis, I've got to give away a spoiler. Something that people might know already, I didn't. And unfortunately, I have to, so I'm just going to come out and say it. So we have the first episode, and we have... basically, He-Man and Skeletor die in the first episode. I mean, there you go. So we've got a big battle. As the old cartoon, we have a big battle. Something goes on, but they both die. But the story goes is that it's King Randall finds out that Prince Adam is his son. He finds out that Prince Adam and He-Man were the same, and he blames Man-at-Arms for not telling him, and he feels responsible for not telling him anything. We got Teela, who's super angry because she was Adam's best friend, and all these years she never knew that Adam was He-Man, and she feels left out in the dark. So she abandons her job, she abandons everything, she abandons the castle, and it cuts to a few years from then. I'm not sure how many, but a few years. She looks a lot different and all that. She's teamed up with this girl called Andra, and they seem to be working as some kind of mercenaries, and they're given a job, and basically the job is to get two parts. He-Man separated the swords at the end of the first episode, and the magic in Eternia is disappearing, and it's due to because Skeletor and He-Man and the swords, and they need to get the magic back because Eternia is the center of the universe. And if Eternia loses its magic completely, which it's fading, the universe will be destroyed. So basically, they've got to go to either parts of the Eternia, dangerous places, to find these two swords and wield them back together and bring the magic back to Eternia. And basically, this is Teela's story. This is not a He-Man TV show. This is Teela. Teela and Evelyn. Evelyn joins her. Evelyn, for people who don't know, she was a henchman, probably number one beside Skeletor. But as I said, they all join up and they all go on this mission for 5 episodes to put these swords back together and see what happens. Now, I was shocked about He-Man dying, and I didn't know how to feel about that. And the problem is that for the rest of the show, I was waiting for He-Man to come back. I thought, oh, he'll be back in the next episode. You can't kill him off. And Skeletor, because Skeletor is probably one of the most famous bad guys ever. And he's actually probably my favorite character of all He-Man. He's just so funny. He-Man, as a kid growing up, loved him and all that. But it's just, the Teela show is good. It's just, I wanted to know when are they coming back, and it was taking me out of it. So it was just like the whole time just when is He-Man coming back, but he never did. I'm going to get into spoilers about all this a bit later on because I don't want to give too much away, as I said. But I'm going to go into positives. So starting off with the first positive, the intro is really good. I really like the intro. Obviously, we all know the original intro to He-Man, and it's awesome. But I was thinking, how are you going to match that without being cheesy? But no, it had a real nice 80s feel. I really liked that. Now, apart from the intro, the rest of the whole cartoon animation is great. I liked the style and how it looked, and it was very pleasing to the eye and very polished and very colourful. Now, that was a big thumbs up for me. The character development was pretty decent, mostly pretty decent. We got loads of character development with Teela and a lot of henchmen that worked for Skeletor, like Trapjaw and stuff like that, Beastman. We got quite a bit of character development on this. We found out a bit more about them than we used to. We got to know more storylines, and they gave them more character, and that was a good thing. Yeah, I was really happy about that. Another big thing, as I mentioned earlier on, there's a big cast of big voices, and the voice acting was spot on, and I loved all of them. They all fit their characters, so that was a really good thing. But there's a negative with the voice acting, but I'll get to that in the negatives. Also, the pacing was pretty decent. I didn't feel bored at any point. It didn't drag. For me, it didn't. I just thought the pacing was really good, and it went from one episode to the other just fine. It flowed real good. So on to negatives. Now, I love my lead female characters in some of my favorite movies of all time. Like you got Sarah Connor from Terminator 1 and 2. We got Aliens. We got Ripley. We got Jamie Lee Curtis from the Halloween franchises. We got Kate Beckinsale from the Underworld franchises. We got Millie Jovovich from Resident Evil and other stuff. And I love them. They're great, strong female leads. And when I watch them, that's what I want to see. That's who I want to see. When I see Aliens, I really want to see Ripley. Nobody else. I mean, I liked Kyle Reese. But on this, it felt like that it was forced upon us. It's like it felt like Teela was in a relationship with Andre. It was like it's queer baiting, you could say. She's in a relationship with Andre, basically blatantly, without saying it, but they were. I felt like there was absolutely no male lead at all, no co-male lead. There was 3 female, and they were kind of very masculine looking. Now I know women can look masculine and sexy, but there was no femininity on all of them, if I said that right, because I'm terrible. There was none at all, and it felt like, it was some kind trying to be diverse. And I was looking at the old Teela, and she was very feminine but very strong. And in the 2002, she was a badass but very strong. And I felt like, what's going on here? You're just forcing this upon us. There's no male lead. There's only strong female characters with a bit of an attitude, even hairstyles and muscles all over the place. And I thought, yeah, I'm not happy about this. What's the narrative here? Now, I said the voice acting was good, and it was, but I felt some of the dialogue wasn't. I can't put my finger on it, but some of it felt rushed, and some of it felt silly. I know, yeah, it's an animated cartoon and we take it seriously, and I do take these things seriously, but it stood out to a point where not all of it, just a little bit, but now and again, I felt some parts as rushed, and it felt silly at places. But that's more of a nitpick, so it's not a massive deal, but I still throw it in the negatives. So a character was brought in early called Andra, who isn't Tila's partner, but she's given quite a bit of character development at the start. I mean, enough to feel like we're going to find out more about her, but she felt like she took a back seat in the rest of the episodes. And I was like, well, what was the point of giving us more about her at the beginning? Like, is it just, for what reason is she in it? Now, in fairness, like in if there's a second season, which I'm sure there will be, probably giving her more, we might learn more. But it just felt like she took a back seat. And if we're going to go out and go on about all these strong female characters, then we need to know more about them. Now, the character development is good in general. All the others, like we found out more about the ones that I said earlier on that we hadn't before, and she did get a good bit of character development, but then she's backseated, and that's what I mean. So now, some other negatives I can't get into without being a spoiler. So I'm going to start going into spoilers now. And if you're still watching and you haven't seen it and you really want to know the spoilers that's on you. So that's it. Ready? So I felt like at the beginning of this, and maybe through all of it, it was a big fuck you to the original He-Man fans. Because, I mean, maybe I didn't read enough. Maybe I didn't read into the trailers, or I didn't read enough about it up to this. Maybe I'm the only one who didn't know this. But as far as I'm concerned, when you go to see Masters of the Universe, you expect to see He-Man. Now, I would expect to see Tila, because I'd be a bit annoyed if she wasn't in it, and some characters. But it's like when you're going out to see a band in a bar or pub, and you go to see them, and they come on and do one song, and then the person who owns the bar comes out and sings for the rest of the night. And he's not a bad singer. It's just you didn't go to see him. You went to see the band, And for me, that was a big kick in the teeth. Like, why didn't they just go off into do a spin-off? Or we could find out more about them characters and then go off on that direction later on. But we're all coming in to see He-Man. And Kevin Smith said something like, oh, I'm going to give you the He-Man that we originally had. I was like, okay, because this is supposed to be a kind of a direct sequel to the original lot. But I will say that I felt like I did get the He-Man in the 2002 version as well, so there wasn't much in the difference. I mean, there was the other one that I stayed away from. It was He-Man in Space or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. But please comment below and let me know, because I know it, but I can't think right now. But as I say, like, he didn't really give us He-Man. He took He-Man away and he gave us the different characters. And another thing I want to go into is that Tila, she's angry about not knowing about He-Man as Adam. Now, I understand that she could be pissed about that, because who wouldn't be? Because she was really close with Adam and they shared everything. But it felt like she was overdoing it. I mean, this is the reason why she shunned her own father, shunned the palace, just left and went on her own, like, for years. I'm like, that reason isn't really good enough. I mean, look, I know you can go again, it's animated, it's cartoon, but give us a good reason, you know, for her to be the way she is. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be more to it than that. But they did that. Now, going on to the LBGTQ, um, it's in here. Now, again, it's queer baiting. They're saying that, pretty much saying, look, you know, Tila and Andrea they're pretty much, they are a couple, and that's all there is to it. It's blatant. Adam comes across quite feminine as well as a young, because he's young on this. When he turns into He-Man, he's older, which is good, because on the original there was no different. He just changed clothes and nobody knew who he was. At least Superman put glasses on. He didn't even do that. But as I say, like, Adam came across like he was feminine, and I think there was one point he said, you know, there's more. He's got more than one secret, and I was like, what are you trying to say here? What's the other secret then? Why don't you tell us? Because I think they were queer baiting. Again, I don't want to come across as like that, but it's just, why can't we just have it in there if you want it in there? Why does it have to be like, look, we're diverse, look, we're diverse? And why is it all the male characters? Like, Orko dies, yeah? All the male character either die or they're not in it. Do you know what I mean? And it's all about these strong masculine female character leads. And, well, the audience that originally watched this are the audience who are going to be watching it again. And they want to see the role fashion heroes. And I don't mind if you want to make them gay and lesbian and all that, but have He-Man in it too. Even if you want to make He-Man gay, I mean, look at the 80s one. I mean, he kind of looks it. But as I say, like, make him gay, but don't just put it. It's not, oh look, diverse. Now, another thing that I don't know what to say. So I waited for the whole season for He-Man to come back, because I'm like, this is Master of the Universe. Of course, he's going to come back. Now, they do come back at the end, right at the end. Well, Adam comes back. He's in some kind of heaven for heroes, yeah? And he comes back, and so does Skeletor, and he's killed again before he becomes He-Man. Just as he was going to turn into He-Man, he was killed again as they got the swords and they all put it together and wield it. And I'm like, you've killed him again? Now, they literally, Skeletor stabbed him through, like proper stabbed him through with the sword. And it's like, right, now he's lying there dying, assuming he's dead. He may not be, but we have to assume he is. And I'm like, again, you're killing off all the male characters. You're killing off He-Man. I mean, like, all right, I would have been happy if you brought him back in earlier and killed him again, but you did it at the end, and what you're trying to, was a cliffhanger? I don't understand. It bothers me a lot that I'm coming to watch a He-Man cartoon, and I know it's called Master of the Universe. I know, but we're going to see. They've just, you can't kill him off a second time. It just feels like a cop out, you know, just a cop out for a dramatic thing at the end. If you killed He-Man at the end, as I said, he was in the whole thing, yeah, okay, it'd be dramatic ending, and we could go on then from there on. So the season 2, we could do the season that we got now. That would have been decent. We would have had He-Man, or just take He-Man out and had Adam in it, because he's lost his powers and he's trying to help get the swords. At least there'd be a male lead in it, you know. But no, they didn't do any of that. It's just, it was just all just mishmash. Now, I will say that had I known this was going to happen before I went into it, I probably would have enjoyed it more, because it was still a good cartoon. It was good in general. It's just, I didn't, if you knew about this, and that's hopefully my video will teach you that, you know, or tell you about the spoiler, and so you won't be too flattened by it. That's what the problem is that I just wanted to see He-Man, and taking him out killed it for me. And I wish I knew going in, because I would have definitely enjoyed it more. I would have enjoyed it a lot more than not waiting for He-Man the whole time. I could have sat back and just go, right, it's the Teela show. Let's sit back and enjoy the show. But no. So that's about all I can say for now, really. I mean, this is, I'm not just finished watching it. I am rambling on a little bit, but I don't want to ramble on too much, start getting on people's nerves. But anyway, what did you think? Do you feel the same? Do you like the change that they did? Are you pissed off like me, or do you just agree with me at all? Please let me know in the comments below, and like and subscribe as normal. But for now, and until next time,